Hi, and welcome to 30 Days of Brave Thinking. I'm Mary Morrissey, and today I'm offering you a gift that will help you stay calm, help you discover that even during very, very turbulent times, you have a power in you that you can actually call upon, and instead of being taken down by a difficult time, you can actually find a way to have this be one of the most empowering times of your life. So it's completely free. It's the fruit of many, many years of study of transformation, and I'm giving it to you. For 40 years, my mission has been in helping people, empowering people, and training people in how to have a mindset that's a match to the results they want to have in their lives, how to move results from one set of results to another set of results that are more empowering, more life-giving, more fruitful for them, for their families, for their workplace, and literally for our world. And it works. I've been working with this for my entire life, helping tens of thousands of people all over the world, and especially in difficult moments like this one. I believe that the right thing to do is give everything I can give you completely free here. And in 30 days, you can establish a set point, a mindset point, and a way of understanding how you can use even the most difficult times in your life to actually help you catapult your life forward. Not because so much of the difficult time or in spite of it, but because of how you went through the difficult time. And if you just keep breathing, you're going to create results anyway. And since we're in this difficult time, why not use it to the benefit of you, your dreams, the impact you can bring, and the difference you can offer? So I'm happy to make this offer to you. It's completely free. So to support you today, I'm going to share with you a short video clip from my signature 3-day event, DreamBuilder Live. During that event, people come from all over the world, hundreds of people, to learn how to face their challenging circumstances, release feelings of fear and doubt and worry, and have real skill sets in how to apply the invisible spiritual laws that govern all our results and use the application of those in service of creating results in a life they absolutely love living. So yes, we're facing some difficult times. So let's pull upon this training for each one of us to help us use this time in a truly constructive way. I hope you enjoy this clip. So before we begin, take a deep breath. Take another one. Bring yourself into the present moment. Stay inside this day and inside this present moment. Make sure your notifications, your pings and dings that might come to you through your technology are shut off. So much coming at us. Let's take some moments now and turn to what's seeking to emerge to us and through us. Let's begin. Do it. Because here's the cause of our results. You don't get to not think. You don't get to not think. And if you're not noticing what you're noticing, you will not notice the thoughts you're thinking that are contractive, that are pulling you back. You won't notice them. Thoughts generate feelings, generate actions, generate results. And that's what I've got right now in 2020, my current results. But if I want different results, those thoughts and feelings and actions are not going to produce those results. I got to start raising the vibration of my thought to be a match to that new result. Stay with it, and the feelings will follow. And as I'm doing that, even taking a napkin and standing on a bare piece of land which looks stupid to the common hour thinker. There's no way this turns into a house to a common thinker who has no idea about moving energy. Not only energy out there, but first and foremost, energy in here. A dominant pattern of relating to the vision. Because the actions will follow, including getting to know that vision so well that when out of the blue it looks, somebody drives up who says, "What are you doing? Let me show you. Do you think John's enthusiasm could be transmitted? And here's my son's room, and here's the steps that are going up, and. All right. So the question is then, where do thoughts come from? Just for a moment, ask yourself that question. Where do thoughts come from? Our thoughts come from where we're placing our attention. Because it's like a tower.
It draws everything to it where we're placing our attention. And I will tell you something, the infinite does not read your intention. It's up to you to have an intention. It's up to you and me to have a dream, an intention. But the universe responds to the vibration of my attention. It's where I'm placing my attention. So if I'm placing my attention on all the problems and all the difficulties and where's all the money going to come from, it's reading struggle from me. The infinite is reading a struggle vibration, and it will respond to me abundantly at the level of struggle. So the opportunity then is to move to the frequency of the vision and see, because you are an abundant being, and you are abundant in spades with what you put your focus on. So it doesn't read your intention, it reads your attention, and there's a vibration to that. The same way when you get in a car or an old-time radio, some of you are more my generation or even younger, and you'll remember driving in a car and you had to keep your hand on the dial to keep the signal coming in when you were up and down in valleys and around, and we didn't have satellite TV, and we didn't have a technology called solid state that did it for us. You had to dial that in. How many of you remember some of that? Yeah. And those of you that are younger, you might not know what a cassette tape is, but we had them with the tape that rolled through. All right. Again, thoughts generate feelings, generate actions, generate results, and if you want to change your results, you cannot change those results at the level of thinking you've been doing. Einstein said the significant problems we face cannot be solved at the level of thinking or the frequency of the thinking that generates the problem. But we can change those thoughts when we're noticing what we're noticing. And I'll give you a big clue that will help you forever if you remember this. Notice the thoughts you're thinking and notice something else. Notice that when you're thinking that thought, do you feel, next thing that's going to happen is you have feelings, right? When you're thinking that thought, do you feel expansive or contractive? First sign about where your life is headed. Right there, it's in the energy. Do I feel expansive or contracted in this thought? It's sending a signal of the direction my life is moving. That feeling is the first creation of that thought. Do I feel expansive or contracted? If you're feeling contracted, notice the thought you've been thinking, who you've been hanging out, what you've been reading, what you've been talking about. And shift out of that. Have way less interaction with contraction and way more interaction with expansion. And your life will bear witness to it. And so will your actions. You'll find yourself doing things you've wanted to do but kept putting off, or planning to do but not doing. Paradigms. We didn't even use the word paradigms 30 years ago. Did we use the word paradigm in our teaching way back then? No. Paradigms, we use the word paradigms today to describe, basically, a pattern of thinking. There are life-giving paradigms and there are contractive paradigms. We use the word paradigm often to describe a life-contractive pattern. A paradigm that I'm not good enough. So you set a dream, you set an intention, but deep down you've got that inner pattern running, that subconscious pattern running that says I'm not good enough. And so at the moment something doesn't work the way you want it, you go, there it is again. I don't deserve this. I had a pattern. I deserve to be punished. I'm a bad girl. And it was eroding every good thing that was happening in my life, including my health. So what is a paradigm? It's a pattern of thinking that generates emotions, that generates actions, that generates results. And it's contractive. So you set out a goal, a dream, you've got it, and it kicks in your pattern. It kicks in your paradigm that's arguing for life as you've known it. When I got my very first computer, this is actually a monitor, but when I got my very first computer many, many years ago, think back to when you got your first computer. I don't know if you went PC or Apple, but I chose Apple in my life. And the first computer had an operating system called Panther, I think was the first one. Anybody? Let's say it was. Say I'm right. Panther, whatever the operating system was. Yes. And used that, and I was just so happy to have this computer. And then they offered a new operating system called Tiger. And it took a couple of hours to install Tiger on, but it was the same equipment, but now I had a new operating system. And I had all kinds of abilities because I had a new operating system that I didn't have with that same equipment. You installed a new operating system when you had a piece of paper, a pen, 1 minute of time. And you installed a new operating system, meaning, oh, I can look in the quadrants that'll narrow down the field of search to find the number I'm looking for. And when you install, we heard Jennifer say yesterday, I thought I needed new applications. It was a new software I needed. It was a new way of operating. And when you have a new way of operating, it makes everything so much easier. Because the minute you set your vision, I'm going to do this thing, you, by spiritual law, kick in everything that has to be addressed that's in you, the paradigms that are operative in you that are not a match for that. And when they do rise up, as the master coach Kirsten Well reminds all of the clients that work with me, this is good news. They go, good news? Yes, this is good. She's our friend who says no matter what happens, this is good. Doesn't look good sometimes, but there's good in this. So why is it good? Because now you can see it at work in you. And until you can see it, you can't do anything about it. It's doing its work in you. The first thing that happens when you set a goal, and not necessarily in these orders, but these are things that will work through you if you don't pay attention to them. Now today is the bridging day. We got to bridge over this pull. We have to bridge over the pull to the familiar, or it will win again. And it will be a great seminar you came to, but it didn't change your life. And most of you in this room have been to seminars that were great and inspiring. But inspiration without action is merely entertainment. And you didn't come to be entertained or even to have a great weekend. I believe you came to have a great life. So know this, that I'm going to do this thing, I'm going to do this thing, and you have a life that's been going on, and it's highly likely that part of you, as you start, I'm going to write my book. Let's imagine that. I'm going to write my book. I make a decision. My dream is I'm going to write my book. I'm going to find a great publisher. It's going to become a national bestseller. I'm going to be able to contribute to things with the money I'm going to make, or send my kids to college or my grandkids to college. But most of all, it's going to impact people. And I'm going to have this great thing happen with this great book. And you sit down to write on it. And as you're starting to write on it, this thought comes that says, you know, you'd probably be more creative if you got your email answered first. You know that laundry that's sitting down there in the dryer, it's wet. You better go down and turn that dryer on. It's going to mold. Oh my gosh, the dishes in the sink are getting hard right now. I should have gone to the bathroom before I started this. You know what I'm talking about? That's right. That's that pattern. It'll look for, and it's unending in its ability to find something to try to distract you. And if you don't know what it is, the pull to the familiar, it will win. You'll think you do need to go to the bathroom. You think you do need to go do those dishes. And you have to know what's going on so you can override it. Number 2, dissuasion. Oh, you were in that room, you just got all hyped up. You don't really want to write this book. Who's going to buy this book anyway? I mean, you think it's great, but come on. How many books never become bestsellers? Thousands of books never become bestsellers. Why would you think yours could? Don't do that. And you'll go, I don't know what I was thinking. Easy to get dissuaded from what really is giving you life or could give you life. Why would you want to invite somebody into your life again and just open your heart and get hurt again? I mean, you saw what that's like. Come on, you're just getting going again. You don't need that. These thoughts never come saying, I'm going to keep you from having your dream. They come saying, I'm going to keep you safe. I'm going to make sure nobody takes advantage of you. Pull back, close down, accept what is. It's okay. Life's pretty good. You don't need. contraction. And the last one we call DEFCON 1, which is, and you say yes, you're going to go forward with it. You may even get some support for that. You take 3 steps, and then this is your a part of your nervous system. And what's happening, why you feel this shot of fear come through you, is because the paradigm, that old life that's kept you living the same life, it's literally dying in that moment. That pattern is dying. It's fighting for its life. So you thank that paradigm. You thank that organizing structure got you here. It's just no longer useful. It's not bad. It just got you here. You're now building a new paradigm, a new, more expansive life pattern. So you thank that, and you notice that. It goes right past the logical centers, and you just feel it. If you don't know what it is, you're highly likely to change everything you're doing so you don't have to feel that feeling. That feeling is not your enemy. If you know what it is. I mean, nobody's dying here, really. I'm breathing, everything's okay. But you got to talk back to it. The difference between a thermometer reads the temperature in this room. Part of my team throughout our day is going through the room with laser thermometers measuring the temperature, and there's some variance in this room, but try to keep a stable temperature, but we're measuring what the temperature is. You have thermometers in your house. We've all had a thermometer in our mouth or someplace else as we were growing up, checking our temperature, all right? There's a difference between a thermometer and a thermostat. A thermostat rules the temperature. It dictates what the temperature is. It is a cybernetic system. It measures variance. So let's set it for 72. If it turns temperature in the room is reading 73, 74, automatically it will kick in some cooler air to bring it back within a relative degree, or whatever your thermostatic setting allows. Whatever variance it allows, it'll kick in cool or warm to keep it within a relative range. That's the thermostat's job. An autopilot does the same thing on a plane. It's measuring variance and self-correcting and self-correcting and self-correcting. You have a thermostatic setting for how much good you can have in your life currently. You have a thermostatic setting for how much love, how much money, how much freedom, how much travel, how many friends, how much business success. And if you want to know what your thermostat is set on, look at your results. It's an exact output of the thermostatic setting. We can have a dream, but we got to change the thermostat so you can be a match for the thing you said you want. That's bridging. And that is a technology. It is the science of transformation. And that's what we're focusing on today. So I have this 27-year marriage to a wonderful man and 4 great kids, and we were never really a match the way I dreamed. I have a second marriage that becomes ultimately devastating to me. And I've decided that's it. I have no interest. I'm going to build my career. I'm going to get that debt paid off. I've got great kids and wonderful grandkids. That's it. I get invited in 2005 to go speak at a retreat called the Big Sky Retreat. The president of the retreat, I've known off and on in a very casual way. I met him in 1984 at a conference where he and his wife were singing at that time. And I'd be at events sometimes, and he'd be singing, Big Sky, I spoke there before. And I'd heard in 1999 that his wife had passed away, but I didn't even know him well enough to send a condolence card. I didn't even think of sending him a condolence card. I just heard that it had happened. But now it's 2005, and he's invited me to speak, and how grateful I am for that. And so I go to Big Sky take my assistant Ginger, and we go to Big Sky, Montana, and the week goes by. And on the second day of the retreat, which was Sunday, and the way that retreat works, you agree, you're one of the special speakers, so you're there for 6 days, and you attend all the meetings, morning till night, and speak several times, do a Q&A on Tuesday night, and there's this afternoon, Tuesday afternoon, where everybody's free. So I was looking forward to that Tuesday afternoon, no working, just chilling out, whatever, reading, just not working. And on Sunday, day 2 of the retreat, the president of the retreat comes to me and says, a group of us have a tradition that on the free afternoon we go over to Yellowstone, because we're in Big Sky, Montana, go over to Yellowstone, and there is a Native American tradition, and we employ that. We go, usually take a picnic, and then we take bathing suits, and there's a river called the Firehole River. It goes, it's a glacier-fed river, but it does go through a warm spring, so it's still very cold. But you get in that river and you find a rock, and you put your head on that rock, and you lay in the river, and the current of the river, it's a very meditative. You can release. It's really a good thing, and we'd like you to join us this year. And I just said, I just came right out of me. Cold is my least favorite thing. And I didn't even bring a bathing suit, so I'm going to pass on this, but thank you so much for inviting me. The next day he came back and he said, good news. And the wife of another board member, and I'd been friends with the two of them for a very long time, he says, Diane Caesar brought 2 bathing suits. And if you had not brought 2 bathing suits, my life would have been very different. Anyway, never know. So I'm thinking, not very many people were inviting me to speak at that time, and I thought, okay, I should say yes. I should do everything they want me to say. And I said, if I can bring Ginger. And as it turned out, I was still pretty beat up, wounded myself about the things I'd been through, and trying to find my way to pick myself up, not just with intention, but with the energy of myself. Reminding myself what I had built before, that hadn't gone anywhere, the energy of that, it was working with myself, but I was bearing a lot of that grief still. And so, but in that river, it was just this very wonderful, it was way better for me than I'd ever expected it to be. Came back, finished the retreat, we're driving off the mountain, and Ginger says to me, Mary, couldn't you get interested in Joe Dickey? I said, and Ginger had been my assistant for 20 years. I said, no. Absolutely not. No, Ginger, I have no intention of that's not where I'm headed. And she goes, well, I'm just going to say that when I saw the 2 of you on stage together, it was magic. And I said, well, good for you. And that was that. And then he wrote me an email thanking me for coming, and I wrote one back saying, thank you for having me, keep me on your list of speakers. But I knew he was an old-time rock and roll group, the Crew Cuts, Shaboom Shaboom, Earth Angel, that Unchained Melody. And I knew my best friend loved old-time rock and roll. And I said, if you have a schedule somewhere, my best friend loves rock and roll, and maybe we'll come hear you guys sing sometime. So he wrote back, and then he began to send more and more emails. And it wasn't maybe within a few weeks I started noticing the conversations that we had by email. It was all email. But I began to notice that I looked forward to his emails. He was smart, he was bright, he had a long history in the study I'd been in as well, and we all knew many of the same people. And he was funny also. I love that. And so over time, one time he wrote me an email and said, we get a lot more said. He said, I don't really like talking on the phone that much, but we'd get a lot more said if we could talk on the phone. Would it be okay if I called you? And I wrote him back, I said, Joe, I know what you want. I mean, I listened to it all the way back from the Firehole River. You want to have your partner in life. I'm not that person. I've had men friends my whole life. I can be a great friend, but talking on the phone would be more like a relationship. So let's just keep the email thing going. And we did for a couple of weeks, and then he called me anyway. And in those days, you couldn't talk on the phone for free unless you had the same cell phone carrier plan. Remember that? And we happened to have the same cell phone carrier, so we could talk for free. And he'd call me at night after he got his work done or his kids to bed, and we would talk, and we found we could just talk for hours. And then he wrote me one day and said, Mary, next time, I'm looking at your schedule, you're going to be coming to LA here in a few weeks. Let me take you out to dinner. And I went back and said, Joe, that's like a date. No, that's not. And he wrote back, Mary, it's just dinner, ... And I swear someday I'll write a book that says, it's never just dinner. Gratefully on this one. So that proceeds. We date for 2 years, we get married. 7 or 8 months after that. And he and I go away for a weekend, and I don't know where we were, but I know we had a little deck, and it was a little, like, one-bedroom thing, and there was water, and he and I had sat out in our bathrobes in the morning having coffee and looking at the water, and he got up to go in and take a shower, and I'm sitting there, and I just had this overwhelming, it was just this wave of I have never felt like this in my life. I am so happy. I've never felt this kind of easy exchange and the love and the support that moves between us. I am so grateful. It was just, and I got up from that to go in and get ready to take my shower. And as I'm walking through the little living room, there is one of Joe's socks on the floor. And I went, he is a really neat guy. I mean, he really is orderly. I wonder why he would leave a sock on the floor. And the next thought was, maybe this is a new trend. And I felt this contraction. And then the part of me that has practiced noticing what I'm noticing noticed Mary. And I went, oh, Mary, you got just a little too happy for your paradigm, didn't you? You got a little more love going than you're used to. You can allow this kind of love in your life. It's safe, it's okay, and you have to talk to yourself this way. Allow more. It's uncomfortable to allow more good at first because you're not used to it. And the part of you that's distrusting, the part of you that's the skeptic, kicks in. And if you let it win, it will argue you right back into contraction. You'll find something wrong with that person, something wrong, and it'll argue you right back into contraction. So let's make a commitment right now, you and me together. So look in whichever camera you can see and look at my eye here. Let me say to you, you've got this. There's a power in you that is seeking only for your good. And the longings you have, you don't have to repeat it. I'm going to say more words than you can follow. But look me in the eye. Let me transmit this into you. Those longings you have and those discontents are spirit, saying there's more for you. You're meant for more. You can trust that. And you can trust that the way will be shown if you do your part. But you got to do your part.
Okay, let's take another deep breath here as we come to the end of this video. I hope this clip served you today. And if you know anyone that is going through tough times or anyone who could benefit from this, go ahead and help them. This is all free. Go ahead and help them. Invite them. Share the video with them. And rather than spreading fear and contraction and panic, let's each instead be a part of what lifts us up. Let's give what we can give. Let's spread hope. Let's spread compassion. Let's spread peace and calm, health and love. And so here we are today. You have many choices about where you spent your time. I'm grateful you were here, and I hope for you that you, as people come to mind, that you help them with what you can in the ways that you can only do that. And also, if this is helpful to you, go ahead and share it. It's free from me, and I'm happy to give it away. So becoming a brave thinker, and staying in these higher levels of vibration, we actually become part of the solution instead of part of the problem. It's easy to have the ain't it awful conversation. But as a brave thinker, you're turning now to a different way of being, even in very difficult times. And it makes all the difference. And now, if you would love even more support in embodying brave thinking in these challenging times, I have a gift for you. Click below, and you're going to have an opportunity to receive from me 30 days of daily videos from me for 30 days, helping you stay in a mindset of uplifting thoughts, choosing that day what you can do. I will give you a 5-minute personalized video for you for that specific day of this 30-day program in learning how to establish a set point in your normal thought pattern of being a brave thinker instead of dealing with everything coming at you. You will get through this time, but who you become at the end of this and what your conditions are and whether you've grown through this time or just barely gritted your teeth to get through it will have everything to do with your thinking. So my gift to you is 30 days of training. It just takes 5 minutes in the morning. You're going to have a mindset on anyway. You don't get to not think. Why not think from a vibration that actually takes you where you want to go instead of just barely getting by and reacting to the circumstances we have? So for the next 30 days, I'll send you a 3 to 5 minute video, simple, highly effective steps that you can apply that day to making that day the best day you can have, even in the midst of difficult times. There's no sales pitch in this. There's no hook. It's just a gift from me. And I'm happy to do it at this time particularly. So it's something I've been helping clients with for many, many decades. And I'm just giving it away now. So I'm happy to do that. And I hope you will avail yourself of it. And then if you want to give it to somebody else, feel free to do that right now. That's what we're doing. So, and you can leave any question you want in the comment section below. So I love hearing from you. Did you enjoy this? What helped you? What would you like more of? How you doing right now? What else can I help you with? So until tomorrow, feel a big, big hug from Mary Morrissey.